absolutely crucial. I mean, you cannot park your car in a charging station and then come back after 5 hours for the car to charge. That's not going to work.
Standardization of sockets also.
That's right. And so car has to charge very quickly. And that cannot happen initially with any private sector investment. It has to be, well, investment can be private sector, but it has to be driven by the policy. So the role of policy is crucial, not just for EV uptake, but also for creation of charging infrastructure. That's number one. Number two, in the US, so all of you probably know Tesla as the leading electric car in the US. The way Tesla marketed their electric car is it's very different. I mean, they didn't market it just as an electric car. They marketed their car as one of the best performing cars in the market overall. So, for example, the Tesla just looks so different. It looks amazing. It looks very different relative to the other cars. It's actually much better than BMWs of the world in terms of acceleration. You can go from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3 seconds, and so on and so forth. And you can do that with all other EVs as well. But then Tesla just marketed it that way.
And smart connectivity.
And then that's how consumers kind of adopted it, and now things are at a different scale. So again, to conclude my things, the third important kind of thing that again the role of government, the role of policy is crucial, as you rightly said, is doing some fleet level programs. So it could be municipal buses, it could be Ubers of the world like Gojek or Grab kind of taxis and so on and so forth. So those fleet level programs make those electric vehicles super visible and kind of raises confidence in consumers. And this is the model that China followed. This is also the model that India is following right now, is instead of private vehicles, they started electrifying the public vehicles first to increase the confidence in the technology.
I can explain the marketing.
So you accelerate scale and you build confidence. Very good. Let's have further questions. Young lady there in the middle.
Okay, thank you very much for the bright presentation from the second speaker. Yeah. Okay, so my question is for you.
The only one wearing batik.
Okay. From your presentation about electric vehicle and its issue around the world and in Indonesia itself. For example, from my own perspective, that electric vehicle is not popular at all until now, because even in China, as the first place to have total sales, the highest total sales of electric vehicle is only like 1 million, while the second place USA, they have only 200,000 units. It is still very small. And then now we can go to the Indonesian case. For example, we are not for example, but in the reality we have very small total car ownership with 70 to 80 or 1,000 people, and then we are still depending on the oil. With it will run out in 12 years. Then okay, very good case you mentioned. We can switch to the coal as the power for electric vehicle, which is we have still 70 years for the coal reserve, right, in Indonesia case. And also, and then for myself, my opinion is we cannot do anything without the policy from the government, right? Then, from your perspective, with a very bright presentation, you mentioned how long will it take for the government of Indonesia to implement, with the current condition like right now, to implement not implementing directly, but starting to plan the electric vehicle things. Then the second is, what is the top priority that we can urge to the government of Indonesia to start to implement? Like for example, your consideration such as environmental externality, bad quality of our fuel, etc., etc. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Again, fantastic questions, and it's amazing to get these questions from young people such as yourself. And I imagine myself 20, 25 years ago when I was your age, and I couldn't think that clearly. So, great questions. So in terms of kind of making these policy changes or changes faster, so this has to be a political economic process. I mean, policies don't happen in a vacuum; they happen in this broader political economic spectrum. So as long as the kind of externalities of the IC engine vehicles or other problems start becoming a political priority, a major push on policies is unlikely to happen. So there are two ways in which this potentially can become a political priority, and I believe you could speak more to that. One is the local air quality. The local air quality is already fairly concerning, and it is only going to get worse as we go along. That's number one. And number two, with the potential oil imports, it changes the trade balance. So it is essentially electric vehicles can potentially also avoid a lot of foreign oil imports, a lot of outflow of foreign exchange. So those two become very strong political potential priorities. And so, for example, air quality became a major issue in China, and that kind of drove their drive towards electric vehicles and so on. So those two political priorities become absolutely crucial.
Pak Yudo, do you want to discuss this?
Yeah. If we want to implement the EV in Indonesia, think about this. How can we start it? We start with car, we start with two-wheelers. I think in Indonesia we have to think about two-wheelers because that's the real demand in Indonesia, not what Tesla. Tesla is expensive. For many people, they cannot imagine having Tesla, right? But think about Papua case. We can think about that at the same price of the motor for two-wheelers internal combustion. So secondly, number one is two-wheelers. Secondly is about the price. Our people here is very sensitive to price, right? So if you want to change from internal combustion to EV again, how about price? Expensive, cheaper. As long as the producer can maintain at the same level, I think they can attract public attention. So this kind of traction is quite crucial in our market. It's a market character in Indonesia. And secondly, about the battery. How about the long lasting, low quality battery that every year, and the availability of the battery. That's another thing that we have to think. Other things, I think, as long with two-wheelers at the same price and battery, EV has potential in Indonesia. We can talk about fiscal incentive, we can talk about tax, we can talk anything, but it's still a question.
Thank you, Pak. A question up there, maybe in the middle there, in the back. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. There's maybe 2 or 3 questions. The first question is,